All right, all right. Peace to Yahuwah, peace to Yahuwah. How everyone doing tonight? You with your man Jonah Bay. Welcome to Consultation Wednesday, where I do a quick little synopsis and then I answer all y'all's questions. You know what I mean? On various law. So welcome. I'm just waiting for people to come on in. So tonight I'm gonna be reading a law with dealing with the habeas corpus. Now, why am I on habeas corpus and going so hard on it? I've been talking about it all week, plus last week. Is because we read a Supreme Court case from back in the days that says when you in court, you must be a belligerent combatant, right? So when you're in court and they're not doing what you telling them to do and they ain't listening, you're supposed to be combative. You're supposed to be belligerent. You're supposed to yell, act crazy, tell them I'm not going for y'all not protecting my rights and all that. Now y'all already know if y'all do it like that, like I do, they're gonna hit you with contempt, right? This is why I'm preparing y'all for this webinar I'm gonna have up and coming that's gonna show y'all exactly how to write a one-page hitter quitter on habeas corpus that's gonna get you out of that contempt charge immediately. And when I show you how to do this habeas corpus, it's even gonna help motherfuckers that's already locked up get out because they violated their rights. I just gotta teach them what rights they violated. One of the main ones that I use for people is they didn't have a warrant or affidavit in support of the warrant, which is one of the main reasons why 99% of these cases violated your rights protected by the Constitution. Now, let me say this. You don't have constitutional rights. You have rights that are secured by the Constitution, right? Or guaranteed by the Constitution because it's a trust and a contract, right? And they already swore oath that they were going to abide by it, right? So I'm going to teach you how to do all of that. But let me go into what I want to read tonight. And what I'm reading is Southern Center for Human Rights. Know Your Rights, Georgia State Habeas Procedure. Negotiating. Now, the thing is, this package I'm reading from, it even has the actual application for habeas corpus if you locked up in jail. It's going to reveal a whole lot about how to actually do a habeas corpus. And of course, if you do it here in Georgia, it's the same way for your state. And I'm sure you, when you get on the webinar and I show you this document, you're going to be able to find your state's rules and laws on the habeas corpus as well. So it says, negotiating Georgia's criminal justice system after your conviction can be a confusing and challenging experience. While we cannot represent you or provide legal advice or referrals to other lawyers, we hope this document will provide you with some general information that may be helpful. The law is always evolving. The date at the bottom of this page indicates when this information sheet was last updated. What is a habeas corpus proceeding? A habeas corpus proceeding is a procedure for challenging the legality of a person's restraint or detention. A writ is a formal order of the court commanding someone to do something or refrain from doing something. A writ of habeas corpus orders the person who is responsible for the detention or incarceration in criminal cases, the warden or jailer, to produce the detained person in court so that the judge may decide whether the person is in lawful custody. Writ of habeas corpus has deep roots in American history and has been called the most important human right in the Constitution. Today, habeas corpus procedures are generally set out in state and federal statutes. Georgia state habeas procedures are contained in Section 9-14-1 through 9-14-53. So the whole, everything dealing with habeas corpus is in between 9-14-1 of the OCGA through OCGA 9-14-53, right? So it got 53 goddamn separate sections on how to do habeas corpus. I'm only bringing you the gusto. I'm not going through all 53. It would take too long. Y'all would get bored and it would be information overload. But let me go on. Especially applied to prisoners who are seeking to challenge a criminal conviction or sentence. Most habeas corpus petitions challenges the constitutionality of the criminal conviction or sentence. However, the writ of habeas corpus is also available when a prisoner is unlawfully confined beyond the term of his sentence, or when the prisoner is confined under a sentence longer than that permitted by the state statute. Habeas corpus is also available for cases involving extraordinarily high bail. So if you got a crazy high bail, you're supposed to do a habeas corpus. How many of y'all knew that? You know what I mean? See, Diddy's lawyers could have did a habeas corpus to get him out. They didn't know, so they didn't do it. It is not available, however, as a vehicle for challenging conditions of confinement. Now, this document was updated April 2016. But you know it ain't changed, right? So it says, who can petition for a writ of habeas corpus? Any person who has been convicted of a crime and has been incarcerated or restrained in some other way by the sentence of a Georgia court may petition for a writ of habeas corpus. It is not necessary that the habeas petitioner still incarcerated of the time that he or she seeks a habeas corpus relief, as long as the petitioner can show that he or she continues to experience adverse collateral consequences from the criminal conviction and sentence. So what it was just saying is, say for instance, you got arrested, they didn't have a warrant in the affidavit, you can challenge them with a habeas corpus right now, even though you're out of jail, to get rid of that felony off your case. Doom, doom, doom. How many knew that? How many people knew you could use a habeas corpus like that to reverse some shit? Well, now you know. Your man Jonah Bey told you, right? How is a habeas proceeding different from a criminal appeal? A habeas corpus proceeding is not considered part of the criminal appellate process. Instead, it is considered an independent civil proceeding initiated by the petitioner who, like the plaintiff in the civil case, has the ultimate burden of proof. Because habeas corpus proceedings are not part of the criminal appellate process, yet are often used to challenge the lawfulness of a criminal judgment, habeas corpus is sometimes referred to as a collateral attack on the criminal judgment. For the same reason, it is also often said that habeas corpus proceedings may not be used as a means of obtaining a second appeal. Because habeas corpus proceedings do not provide a substitute for appeal, issues that were raised during the criminal appellate process and issue that were not raised but could have been are generally not available for review in a habeas corpus proceeding. However, for example, issues based on facts that are outside the appellate record, such as a claim generally based on evidence that was suppressed at trial, or a claim of ineffective assistance of counsel, are generally appropriately raised in a habeas corpus proceeding. How about if the court never had jurisdiction? How about if the US Constitution says that when a state is a party, the case must be heard in Supreme Court? Now, guess what? Every one of y'all's cases is done that way. And the US Constitution tells you that anytime the case, the state is a party to an action, the Supreme Court has original jurisdiction. So I don't see what case can't be done under a habeas corpus. Well, Jonah, what about the Fed? Okay. The Fed may be federal court, right? But did they have it in Supreme Court? Because I just told you the Constitution said it had to be in Supreme Court because Supreme Court got original jurisdiction. So yes, even the Fed cases, you could run that back under habeas corpus. It was the wrong jurisdiction. Okay. What kind of issue can be raised in a habeas corpus petition? Under Georgia habeas statutes, we don't care about Georgia habeas statutes, not really. We care about what the Constitution says. But let's keep on reading. Under Georgia habeas statute, a prisoner can bring a habeas corpus action to challenge a criminal conviction and sentence on the ground that there was substantial denial of his or her rights under the Constitution of the United States and the state in the proceedings, which resulted in his or her conviction. So, if you bring up the fact that they had to have a warrant and an affidavit in support of the warrant to even stop you, that's a violation of your rights protected by the Constitution. Well, Jonah, what if they had? They didn't have that, but I was indicted by a grand jury. Okay. You know, a grand jury, someone had to give them an affidavit explaining what you supposedly did. They read the affidavit, right? They believe the testimony in the affidavit, and then they indict you. Did they give you the affidavit in the indictment? Did they give you a chance to rebut that affidavit in an indictment in the grand jury? Were you able to actually be in the hearing of the grand jury? If not, that's called ex parte. They're not allowed to do ex parte. First of all, the Constitution guarantees you to meet, to see person to person, the person that is accusing you, and to see all evidence against you. So once again, they violated your rights protected by the Constitution, even if you was indicted under a grand jury. They're not doing it according to the Constitution. Well, guess what? The Constitution supersedes and overthrows all their statutes. I care not about their statutes. I care about my rights protected by the Constitution. And I bring it up. And that's how you win a habeas corpus. Right? I am sleepy as hell, y'all. I've been up since 5. I'm sleepy. So let me keep on reading, though. Habeas corpus relief is not available to review allegations that a person was denied a non-constitutional right established by Georgia law, or that a state rule or statute that does not implicate a state or federal constitutional right was violated. So what they're saying is, if you are trying to do a habeas corpus based on their statute, rules, and regulations, you can't use habeas corpus. It's not going to work. Ain't that a bitch? It's why I said, fuck their codes. We're going to do it based on the Constitution. Even appeals are supposed to be based on the constitutionality. But y'all keep on trying to use... Hello? Yo, what the fuck the matter with you? Yo, get off the fucking phone. Yo, mute the fuck out, yo. What the fuck the matter with you? Simone, it was you. What the fuck the matter with you? Yo, Shaka, mute all mics for now. Motherfucker up there answering the phone and got that shit on air. That shit's ridiculous. Made me lose my place and shit. That shit just aggravates the shit out of me, y'all. I gotta put it in Shaka's head to mute everyone right off the rip, so they can't even make that type of mistake. Examples of the kinds of constitutional claims that are appropriately raised in a habeas corpus petition include the following. Number 1, claims challenging the validity of the indictment or the constitutionality of the underlying charge. Number 2, claims attacking a search and seizure interrogation, identification procedure, and other investigative practice employed by law enforcement official or other state agents. So when they don't have that warrant and all that, that's a violation of your rights. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, since someone wanted to be an asshole and interrupt, I'm going to end this show early. I'm going to take a few calls and then I'm out. This shit will not be tolerated. I'm only taking these 2 calls and then I'm out. EZG3, peace to Yahoo.
Hey, what's up, Jonah? Can you hear me?
Yes. Loud and clear.
Yeah, peace, brother. How are you?
Wonderful, magnificent, and great.
All right, thank you. So, Jonah, I have a question for you. So, I recently started a job 30 days ago, and when I came in, I gave them the tax affidavit along with the WABN that you overlooked when we had our last consultation, and you said that was, okay the way that I submitted it, and I actually gave them a copy of one of my UCCs just with the basic information on it.
And you did all that for the job? You know you did way too much. You know you did way too much. I keep on telling you, brother, you struggle with this. Less is more.
Right.
They don't understand all that stuff, but go ahead. What's your question?
Yeah, well, I'm just asking that. So I gave them those things, and I thought that would be enough to have them put in my file and not do the tax thing, but they've been taking out both the federal and the Medicare and the Social Security. So, well, what would you suggest I do for a follow-up on this?
See what I'm saying? You gave them so much, you made yourself a sovereign citizen, and now they don't want to listen. Why did you do that? I didn't teach you that. I only taught you to use the affidavit for the law of taxes is voluntary. I can't tell you what to do because you did something totally different than what I told everyone else to do. And everyone else got their remedy.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say
I know
now.
one brother from last week said that he got fired, but I know you said that was a rare instance.
That's a rare instance. And as you remember, he also said they stopped taking taxes immediately, but they laid them off.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So I don't like the way you just said that. You made it seem like he put in the paperwork and he was just straight fired for it. That ain't what happened. That was misleading, brother.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, that's right. He did say that they took one check and it was all good, but then they let him go after he got that check, right?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know if it was one check or a couple.
Yeah, okay.
I know he said,
okay.
I got a few checks, so that's why I don't think it was one check, right? But he said shortly after that, they fired him.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right. Donald L. Bay, peace to Yahuwah.
Peace to Yahuwah, Jonah.
Peace.
I know you're doing wonderful, magnificent, and great. So
yes, I am.
I don't have any questions, but I just want to give you props because I had a consultation with you today.
Yes, you did.
Helping 3 different people with some cases.
Yes, you are.
I had some good stuff and I had some questionable stuff, and I just appreciate the fact that you took the time and you set me straight. So
absolutely,
I appreciate it, man.
No problem. Peace, my brother.
Peace.
Enoch L. Peace to Yahuwah.
Peace to Yahuwah. How you doing, Master Teacher?
Wonderful, magnificent, and great. How you doing?
That's awesome. I'm doing wonderful, magnificent, and great, and I'm filled with so much gratitude that for perfect health, wealth, and everything flowing into my life, and I wish the same for you too.
Ashe. Thank you, my brother. Thanks for the peace and blessings.
Always. You deserve it. So, I got a call from the client that I had. Today was his
God
TPO.
damn, all of y'all got clients making money, helping people with their problems. That means I'm doing my job teaching y'all, man.
Well, you did say you're the teachers of teachers. You know, you're there to
yes,
change
sir.
the world in a sense where you're elevating everyone so they could utilize that same information and make their friends and their family do better in life. You know, help them out. So
yes, sir. And y'all helping me show and prove this no fluke. It's actually working. But go ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah, so today was his the hearing where he was pretty much being charged with he damaged 2 rear tires of his ex, which he didn't, and they put the wrong address, all these crazy stuff. I
remember that
iPad stuff and a few other things. Anyways, he went to court today, but it was a TPO hearing, and on the document that they had sent him or gave him, it said that he had to show up and show cause and answer it on why they shouldn't move forward. So now I don't want anyone to, misunderstand what I'm going to say. When it comes to like that first hearing, the arraignment, you do have to plead, and then you can then put in the paperwork and move forward after that. But with this, the TPO, on that document, it said that he had to answer it and show cause why not to move forward. So I did type up a document for him. Now, when he went in there, the judge, he was like, everything that you need to know, it's in there. I put the paperwork in. He was like, did you read it? The judge, she kind of smirked. She was like, yes, I read your paperwork. And then she was like, they were talking and everything. And the girl that was coming after him with all that allegations that he damaged her and everything, she tried to say a whole bunch of stuff, but pretty much the judge shut it down and said that she's not gonna have him being charged for the damages to the tires or having to give her back an iPad or any other thing that she was saying where he was sending pictures and all this like crazy shit. But the point is, she dropped all of that, so he didn't have to pay for any damages, and he was off of all that.
Bravo. Because his case was a little wild with the shit they was trying to get him for.
Yeah,
with the pictures and the iPad.
Yes.
Proud of you,
Dropped all
bro.
of that.
You saved that brother's life, man. They would have had him on a sexual registry and all that.
All that shit they would have done.
We
Right.
do big things over here. Another testimony. What more can I say?
And by the way, all of this stuff that I've learned to apply, I learned it from Jonah when he's showing us how to, read the laws, comprehend it, and apply it in our lives, So
Absolutely.
if you're not listening to Jonah, I don't know what y'all doing. Y'all sleeping.
Well, that's why I'm going into the actual laws and rules of the habeas corpus. Like 10 people sent me a habeas corpus saying, how's my habeas, Jonah? I'm like, yo, it's garbage. It's not correct. How y'all gonna try to do something without knowing the rules to it? I don't know. Take the time to learn the rules. As I said, you could never win a basketball game without knowing the rules to basketball. It's just what it is. Appreciate that testimony, brother.
Yeah.
And I know that brother's so happy that he relied on you.
Yeah, definitely. And I appreciate all the help and everything,
No
I'm
doubt.
gonna mute out.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Kurt, peace to Yahoo.
Peace, my brother. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing wonderful, magnificent, and great. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding.
Outstanding. And that used to be one of my favorite songs. Outstanding. You knocked me out. You remember that song?
Who I set up with the tax information on her job. Just got a review recently.
Yeah.
And so that's to the longevity and stick to itiveness of what you put out there. She didn't get fired. They looking at her because she's excellent at her job. She runs a library, and we put it in when she got the job. Right? So since she's had this job, she has never paid not one bit of taxes.
Right.
So
that's what I'm saying. If people do it the way I showed them how, but when you add a UCC and you add a W8 bin, a W8 bin, a UCC was not required at all. All that was required was this is the law, follow the law.
I did an affidavit, put it in there, use the codes and everything, no problem.
Exactly.
So,
and if let's say 1,000 people have used it, I'm pretty sure it's more than that. But let's just say 1,000 people used it. You know how many people got it done out of 1,000?
I would guess, because I know averages, I would say 10 to 20.
999 people got it done and don't pay taxes. The only one who didn't get that tax off their shit is him. He just told me that today.
That's a large percentage, man.
That's a very large percentage. I would have been cool if out of 1,000, 900 got done and 100 didn't. But the average is so much higher than that. You know what I mean?
Correct.
As I told y'all, I can't really protect y'all. I can't really give y'all advice if you did it a whole different way because I ain't never did it the way you did it. I have no knowledge on it. I have no experience.
In listening to you, I had to relearn just by, I know contract law or whatever, but see, you teach the laws. So I had to incorporate what you were teaching into what I know.
Right. Law is so precise, bro. It's very precise. They look for us to do anything wrong just to turn us down.
That's 100% true. I got one other thing. I got 9 of my cards. I got one left to get. And I know that now.
Oh my God. Yo, man. You know, I stopped going for them a long time ago. I only had about 3. You've been at it, bro. That means you've been working at it 3 each year. Because it takes 3.5 years to get all 10. Yeah, it takes 3.5 years to get all 10.
I'm out. Okay.